We're about to take Goliath down right there. You can see the size of it compared to the Mini. I'm gonna cut it with a 661. Let me go get my stuff. I'm gonna whittle on her for a little while. You can see why it's coming down. His house is gonna be sitting right here where that tree's at. So his house is gonna be facing back that way toward the 5500. So that tree's got to go. It's no good. Yeah, it's time for it to go. But this tree's big, very large. Got a heck of a top in it. Limbs back overhanging the Mini, about 20 foot or better. It's kind of leaning over that way, but I want to try to keep it from. I don't want it to hit over there at all. I'm gonna notch it to go straight over there the way I'm pushing it. And I hope that's what we can make it do. But if it don't, it's no biggie. The center of it is completely rotten. It ain't nothing but a giant shell. These trees, you can still get a hinge to work on them. And sometimes they don't work good. Sometimes they'll break, you know. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably notch it and then cut it so far, and then just manhandle it over with the Mini. And if it, you know, bust it, split it, it does not matter whatsoever. And that's what we're gonna do. So we'll be cutting it with the 661 right there, 36-inch bar, 33 RS steel chain, skip tooth on it, full wrap handle. Your buddy Brian Chips, got my handlebars on both sides. He's buddy from the West Coast over there, man. Let's get busy. Put it on the ground here. So this next weekend, December 3rd and the 4th, is the next chainsaw class. You can still get in it if you want to get in it. I'll make room for you, no problem there. And one other thing I want to know too, if you're in need of some firewood, I moved another huge trailer load of rounds yesterday. Filmed a video loading it. If you're in need of that, give me, my email is right down below. Contact me if you want to come to the chainsaw class, and we'll get together on that too. So this will be the last one for 2021. right in there. See what she does. I'm gonna cut that side over first. Outside lane. That was pretty good. Let's see where that. To pull this tree with a rope, and I tracked up to it and I pushed on it with the grapple to see what it kind of felt like. I seen then when I pushed on it, the way it moved, I knew I could get it. But the tree, you'll see here in just a second, just a lot of weight in this tree, in this top up here. There's no way you could have wedged this tree the against a lean like what I was doing right there at basically a 90 at the lean. So just you can see it when it hits and breaks that big monster limb right there. Crazy weight in that tree. No telling what that dude weighed. Look how the stuff in that tree. Good grief. I've got the 400 sitting over there. I'm gonna cut it up with a 400. God dog. I'm gonna chip everything to the chip. I'll rest back to the house for firewood. Alright, I'm gonna let y'all sit right here. And I'm gonna go to town. How many times I get hung up in this tree? You can really tell the scale of this tree with me standing up beside it, how large it is. These limbs, chipping them through the chipper, they were nightmares to chip through the chipper because nothing was straight on these limbs. If you look at every one of them, they got dog legs all over them, and they're big. Brought all the big pieces back that I couldn't chip. They're here at the house for firewood, but even like right there where I'm cutting, see it's got a bow in it. That stuff right there is tough to work through the chipper. You kind of gotta cut it up in pieces to get it to go, but there's no telling what kind of weight was in this tree as far as the limb mass and all. advice on a tree this size. If you're ever facing something this large, you take your time. You look at everything, study it, just like what I'm doing right now, because all the limbs are the size of normal trees, and they're all laying horizontal, or they're up under the tree, or they're holding the tree up, and they've got some insane loaded pressure on them, compression and tension all over it. You see me climbing up on this thing. I mean, this tree was humongous. Surprisingly, it went very well working through it. I'm not sure the video ends here in a minute with the after a while. I still got a little bit to go on the timeline here, but I think I got hung in it twice as I was cutting through this thing, trying to work these limbs out. And the thing too is if you've got a machine there, cut you some limbs out of it, and then get the limbs that you've cut and move them, get them out of the way, clear them. That helps a lot for you to be able to work through it, to keep your working area clear, because you can only put so many of these things down, and you just got one horrendous mess that you're dealing with. And again, you're dealing with limbs. Some of these limbs weigh 5,000-6,000 pounds a piece. The canopy span on this tree was probably well over 100 feet wide, I'm sure. But just again, take your time working through this thing, because these limbs can hurt you if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention. So you could hear it right there. It popped that chain out of that rail. It didn't throw it off, but it came out. I'm going to deal with getting it back in the rail right here. you'll see it here in just a second. I'm about to run out of battery on the camera. I knew it was going to die. I just wasn't sure when, and I got the brunt of it cut at this point right here, except for what was on up in the top. I'm about to jump on the mini excavator and start moving stuff around. But one humongous oak tree to take down. Later taters.